You want to talk intriguing, about to get heavy here. And this one guaranteed will make you think. Don't you think, Fram?
I had not heard of this before. So when you brought this to my attention, I was curious, and I'm now dying to talk to the person we're about to speak with.
Well, don't say you're dying to do it. That kind of doesn't...
That's true. Wrong choice of words.
Wrong choice of words.
Thank you, Barnes.
So, Heidi Satterthwaite died last year, sadly, at the age of 34, after being diagnosed with a rare form of cancer known as MDS. She was, in 2018, she was diagnosed. Before her death, she made a very uncommon choice. She wanted to celebrate her life with her friends and family and wanted to have a living funeral. Woo!
Again, you want to celebrate with your family and the people that you love surrounded all around you. I understand that, but what you're celebrating,
it's heavy.
Your death as well.
It's heavy. And let's talk to welcome her sister on right now, Jenna. Hey, Jenna, good morning.
Hi, guys.
Hello, and I know, sorry about your sister.
Yes.
Thank you.
For you to actually even speak about this, thank you.
Well, I think it's very nice of you to have this conversation because I think it's going to trigger a lot of thoughts with people, and I know you've had a little bit of time to heal, but it doesn't, replace the fact that your sister is gone. So we're very sorry about that. What was it like when she came to you or she came to the family and said she wanted to have a living funeral?
So it wasn't a total surprise. She had nearly 4 years between diagnosis and when she ultimately died, 3 years and 8 months to be exact. So early on in cancer, we faced her death pretty quickly. There were a ton of ups and downs throughout that journey. So we had a lot of time to think and process together and talk about what she wanted and what she didn't want. And that very first year she was diagnosed, she said to our other sister, Erica, and myself, if I'm going to have to die, I want to call my friends and have a party. And, thank God she didn't die that year. We had more time with her still. But when we faced the ending last year, it didn't come out of the blue. She'd had so much time to think and research. So we pretty much threw it together within 6 days. It was fast, and it was a time-sensitive moment because what precipitated the end was actually another diagnosis of something even worse than cancer. Those are the doctor's words, not mine. That was pretty much going to take out her liver and give her really high, miserable fevers. So we knew if we were going to party and she was going to have the strength to enjoy herself, talk to people, have that not be a horrific experience for her, it had to be really quickly while she was still feeling okay and responding to the steroids she was on at the time and so forth. So, we made it happen really fast.
So I have a question. When you have a living funeral, do you send out an invitation and it says, living funeral? And
That's a great question.
Great question. So first I have to say Heidi was part of an Army family. So they had moved around, all over the country and abroad. When she was diagnosed, they actually had to return to the States from Cameroon, Africa.
Wow.
So she had collected friends over many years all over the U.S. and abroad. So we didn't really have, mailing addresses for that whole collection of people. But most people had stayed in touch with her cancer journey via social media. Heidi was very well loved. And so that's how we got the invitation out. And I remember people were a little confused.
Yes.
And I started getting a lot of texts saying, what's the dress code?
What is the dress code? Right.
Do I need to wear black?
Did some people think that it was the announcement of her death?
I don't remember that. I think we made it pretty clear in the message, like Heidi wants to see you all one last time. If you know her, whether well or marginally, or even if you don't know her, but know one of us, because we all walked through the cancer with her. And I had friends come out who had never met Heidi, but who knew me and had been supporting me for years. So it really was a family and friends affair that was wider than what we might have guessed.
We're talking to Jenna Satterthwaite, whose sister decided before she passed last year to have a living funeral. And this, by the way, is a thing. And I'm assuming she got up and spoke at her funeral?
She did. And there's a video recap of the whole experience. It's actually on my Facebook page, I think available to the public, that has clips of her speaking and thanking everyone and, dancing with us. We had a big dance party as part of the event. And I love that video. Yeah.
This turned into a real celebration of life. What were some of the other activities that you did at the living funeral?
Sure. We structured it similarly to a wedding. We had catered food, big dinner, cake. We had speeches, toasts. My sister Eric and I sang a couple songs that Heidi requested, which we weren't happy she requested that. Heidi, I'm going to be crying. I don't know if we can sing, but we pulled it together and sang The Parting Glass, an Irish tune that Heidi loved and very appropriate to the moment. Yeah, and then we danced. My cousin emceed, and he helped us put together a playlist with all of Heidi's favorite dance tunes.
Wow.
And she was a professional dancer, and a lot of people from her ballet company came. And so there was some actually professional dancing there as well.
So when it's time to go, and then it's, you sense the event's over and everyone's saying goodbye to someone is about to pass. How flippin' intense. I just got major chills just saying that. How intense was that?
It was incredibly intense. There was such a mix of joyous energy and intense sadness throughout the event. It kind of came in waves, I would say, and we hadn't planned it this way, but it worked out where the final moment of the party, Heidi and her husband Mike danced to the same song they danced to at their wedding. I think about 12 years or so prior. And it was, the perfect and most heartbreaking kind of crowning moment where all the guests stood in a circle around them. I'm going to cry remembering it. And they slow danced, and their oldest son broke down. Sweet James. It was a moment.
I'm so sorry.
But I think it's important to go through all those emotions. I can't overstate enough how healthy it was for all of us to create a space.
That's good to
where
hear.
We could both cry and cheer. And feel whatever we were going to feel. And we couldn't predict it. We didn't know what the event was going to be like moment by moment. Were we going to be really upset most of the time or be able to let loose? And, you ride the waves and you dive in without knowing exactly what it's going to be like. And it did end up being truly a magical, heartbreaking and magical experience.
I have to say now, Barnes, I'm completely turned around on this, and I'll tell you why I love this. Outside of being surrounded by people you love in your family, you get to really say goodbye, because think about how many people that you've lost that you were never able to speak with them. This completely changes everything. I mean, I've had friends that have passed away that I wasn't able to do that. I don't know. This is a beautiful thing.
This is so hard.
I know how hard it is, but to have that closure, I think, is really important.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, and I can see that you're, upset. And just know that I think you probably helped a lot of people.
Yes.
Just hearing you talk about how healthy it was for you to work through it that way. So thank you for sharing this story.
You're so welcome.
Really appreciate it.
I've never heard a story like this, and I think everyone listening, including us, is very touched. And if I have your permission, I do have the clip of her. Or can we play that for everyone to hear?
Absolutely. I would love for Heidi's voice to be in people's ears.
All right. Well, this was Heidi at her living funeral put on. When was this put on?
It was July of last year, 2022.
Wow.
Oh, man. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And again, we're very sorry.
Thank you again.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna.
Appreciate you all so much for coming out here, helping me celebrate, telling your stories. And I just love you all, Love you all very much. Thank you for coming to my funeral.
I should rise and you should not.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie, 99X.